Hello, and welcome to the UFC Vegas 55 post-fight press conference. We are now waiting for our fighters to arrive, so just sit back, relax, and we'll have some Ultimate Fighters coming up to the podium in just a few moments. And while we wait, I'll just go through your comments and put the good ones up on screen. Alright, we have Tap Snap or Nap 203. Another beautiful robbery. I'm assuming Mr. Tap Snap or Nap thinks Miss Holly Holm won. Who are some stars of the night? I don't think that's Adelaide Bird, but keep down Chase Hooper. Fine performance from Chase Hooper tonight. Ooh, yeah, you know what? Let me do a poll. You're correct. Usually AK does these things, but he's off goofing around, so I'll handle this. Alright, so we have a poll now. So, yeah. Go ahead and feel free to chime in. You know, I need some music while we're... What should we listen to for music, people? Here we go. Oh, wait, that's a little too upbeat. Alright, here we go. While we wait. So we do have a poll in the YouTube chat. And right now, 83% of you think Holly Holm won that fight. If my opinion matters, I also feel Holly Holm won that fight. It was a very close competitive fight, but I did think Holly Holm won that fight 3 rounds to 2. We have some Vieira defenders here. Jamie Mannering. Holm went to the hospital and was nearly finished 3 times. She was not nearly finished 3 times, but she did get in that deep choke that she got out of. Vieira got clinched and never once got hurt. But yeah, Holm totally won. Oh, okay, well there you go. Holm totally won. All right, well, we'll move on. Yeah, there did definitely seem to be some weird judging tonight. So we it looks like we're staying at about 85% of you are thinking Holly Holm won this fight. That sounds like a robbery to me. Let me see. Ooh, the biggest robbery of 2022 so far in the UFC. I'm gonna have to Yeah, is it? I felt like there was. Am I missing one? Maybe in the UFC. I think definitely wasn't an exciting fight, but I think just a couple weeks ago we had MVP and Logan Storley. I know a lot of fans. Our own AK Lee did a robbery review, and he had MVP as getting robbed, but of course that was in Bellator. But for the UFC, this might be up there. Jimmy West definitely thinks Holly won that fight. Oh, someone's suggesting Courtney Casey versus Chidi. I don't know about that. I think there's going to be a weight class and a gender issue. But we'll see. Let's see what the matchmakers want. Oh. Sorry, just putting some tunes on while we wait for our next fighter. See, I don't agree that was stalling. I think that was proper cage control with lots of knees of the body and those little peppering shots. I think those really mattered, and I don't see that as stalling, Mr. King, BB Bear. We got the Rambler suggesting it was a robbery. So, who do we have? Now, once I say all MMA media, let me actually pull up MMA Decisions right now, which is a wonderful website that collects the scores of all the media members. Here we go. Oops. There we go. So right now, here we go. If you look on the screen, there we go. These are the media scores. So we have only Nick Baldwin from The Score and our own Jed Meshew scoring the fight for Vieira. There's me, Casey Leiden, having it for Miss Holly Holm, along with our own Stephen Morocco. And Jillian DeCourse, I think she's a fighter, right? Yeah. So, yeah, Matt Wells and Dwayne Fox had 4 rounds to 1 for Miss Holm. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't argue against that. But yeah, clearly, most of the MMA media, vast majority of MMA media, had it for Holly Holm. Some other scorecards that aren't up here. We've had a few people on our own staff who did have it for Vieira, though, who aren't on here. So not quite as one-sided for Holm as MMA Decisions might suggest, but at least it looks like at least 90, 80, I don't know, about 80%, 85%, which goes along with our poll, which right now is 84%, thinking Holly Holm won that fight. Let me see. Okay. Ooh, this is a good song. Chaz Parker's weighing in. All right. Oh, don't forget, thank you very much, Mr. The Idaho Skatesman. A big happy birthday to AK Lee. He was supposed to be on this post presser, but he had birthday party arrangements, reservation, I think, at TGI Fridays in Toronto. So he's out with his friends, enjoying some buffalo wings and mozzarella sticks. So happy birthday, AK. So if you see him in Toronto, give him a high five. Feel free to text him, send him DMs, wish him a good happy birthday. So apparently a golden retriever has asked, please tell me what damage Holly caused. Okay. All right. So yeah. So as far as I know, this poll is just for humans, but maybe golden retrievers feel a little differently. MMA clips. This is pathetic. Holly won clearly. David Sandine, Holly Holm. Rounds 1, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 4, and 5 if you're feeling generous to Vieira. Let me actually find has the scorecards been released for this fight? There we go. Let me get this scorecard for you. Let's break down this scorecard. That sounds exciting. So right here we have the official scorecard. Alright, what do we have here? So the first round, all 3 judges gave it to Holly Holm. The second round, all 3 judges gave it to Ketlen Vieira. I think everyone's in agreement on that. Looks like the third round. Oh, okay. Our first disagreement. 2 judges gave the third round to Vieira, and 1 judge gave it to Holm. And then our fourth round, all 3 judges gave it to Vieira. And in the 5th round, all 3 judges gave it to Holly Holm. All right. So the 2 judges who scored it for Vieira, looks like they had identical scorecards. Okay, so it looks like the round, it would be the 3rd round then. The 3rd round was the deciding round, I guess. The swing round. Alright, so King BB Bear. Holly with great survival skills, but a lot of her kicks were to push Vieira off her. When it got close, she just held her against the fence. Okay, well, kicking someone with a push, or push kicking someone is a strike, so I don't see the issue with that. Let me check on that poll. Yeah, the poll is very consistent. We have 82% of you thinking Holly Holm won that fight. That's pretty significant. What percentage would you say is a robbery? I think if we're hitting 80%, I will go robbery. I need to watch round 4 again. I'm trying to remember that round. I thought that round was close. Surprised all 3 judges felt the same way, but Holly got a knockdown in the 4th. How do you lose a round when you knock your opponent down? I think that was the pretty solid push kick to kind of Ketlen's chest or her stomach. I thought that was a very solid shot. Yeah, I guess knockdowns. I guess knockdowns from body shots, body kicks aren't seen as the same to the judges. I guess the judges saw it as more as an off balance thing. That's my only guess. Yeah, I'm digging this music. Louis H. Worm does not think it was a robbery. MMA dog. See, once again, all the dogs seem to be very pro Vieira. We've had a golden retriever who had it for Ketlen, and now we have this MMA dog who just wishes Holly would never fight again, which I think that's pretty extreme. But you know, you have your opinions. Seeker of Glory. The fight sucked either way. See, I just disagree with you, Seeker of Glory. I don't think that fight sucked at all. Was it fight of the year? No. Was it fight of the night? No. But I think it was a very quality, high-level, mixed martial arts match. Holm won. The judges suck. Just so you know, we are waiting for... I'm not sure who we're waiting for, actually. At least the main event winners. Maybe Dana White. Not 100% sure. But... let me see if we got any information. Whoa, some wicked flute. Who's with the fried vocal cords? What's with the fried vocal? Is that me? Do I have fried vocal cords? It's annoying. Oh, jeez. Beetle Jesse. The fifth Beetle. Thanks. Tristan Gordet. Holly did do some dirty boxing. Agreed. I thought she, people were saying she did no damage, but I thought when she was up in that clinch along the cage, there definitely was damage done. Oh, here we go. Looks like we got somebody here. Get these silly graphics off the screen. I think we should have co-main event winner Michel Pereira up in just a moment. What did you think of Michel Pereira and Ponzinibbio's fight? I thought that was an excellent fight. Oh, ooh. All right, here we go.
Qual a última que é? Is this the last interview or I think yeah, para você? Para você? Para você? Última. That's his last interview. É a tua última. Tua última. He's asking for people to actually put the car right up front here so you don't have to walk much. Get the car and put it right outside.
We'll make it quick then.
They just, yeah, the team is working on it. Vamos fazer rápido então.
First of all, congratulations on the very hard-fought victory. We see all
Thanks
the
so much.
bruising, we see you on the crutches and everything. Physically, how are you feeling right now?
Primeiro de tudo, parabéns por uma vitória duríssima. A gente vê a tua cara, a gente vê você de muleta. Como é que tá sentindo?
Tô me sentindo muito bem. Eu vim para cá para fazer isso, para me entregar tudo de mim ali dentro, fazer uma grande luta, e foi isso que eu e o Ponzinibbio fizemos.
I'm feeling good. I came here to actually do exactly that, to give my all, to just let it all out inside the octagon. That's exactly what Ponce and I did.
Was that the fight you were expecting from Santiago? In the past, he's had a lot of these fight of the nights, but he's also had a lot of exciting finishes under his belt. You have a lot of exciting finishes, but tonight, was this the fight that you expected from both of you?
Essa foi a luta que você esperava do Santiago? Porque ele já teve muita luta dura assim também, e também muitos finais empolgantes, mas finalizações empolgantes. Você também teve finalizações empolgantes. Então, você esperava a luta como foi dessa vez?
Eu esperava sim, porque eu sabia o nível que era o Ponzinibbio, eu sabia que ele era um cara que gostava de trocar porrada, que é um cara que gosta de andar para frente, que gosta de botar pressão. Então, eu vim com vontade e ele estava com muita vontade. Então, eu sabia que ia ser uma grande guerra essa luta.
I knew this was going to happen. I know that he was a guy that presses forward, that just keeps on pounding and keeps pressing and always goes forward. So I was very eager to win. He was very eager to win. I knew this was going to happen.
He seemed very upset when they read the scorecards and walked out. Were you confident when you went to the judges' scorecard?
Ele estava um pouco pé da cara quando ele saiu e leu, e quando começaram a ler o resultado. Você estava confiante quando estavam lendo o resultado ou não?
Eu sabia que eu tinha uma vantagem em cima da luta, né, do resultado. Eu sabia que eu tinha ganhado, mas estava um pouco preocupado. Mas eu vi que na hora que acabou a luta, ele já sabia que tinha perdido para mim. E eu sabia que eu tinha ganhado porque eu coloquei muito mais pressão que ele, acertei uns golpes melhor que ele.
I knew I had done enough. I was worried a little bit when they actually read the scorecards, but I saw his face when actually when the fight ended, and I felt that his face told me that I had won the fight because I had some better strikes. I pressed forward more, and that's how I feel that I had done enough to win.
The broadcasters and a lot of fans online said when you guys were fighting, it looked like you were a whole weight class bigger than Santiago. You just looked bigger than him. Did you feel a strength advantage in there?
O pessoal na internet, muita gente comentaram também, estava falando que você parecia que você estava numa categoria acima do Santiago. Teve essa impressão quando você estava lutando com ele que você era tão maior que ele assim?
Eu perdi muito peso, né, cara? Foi 19 quilos e eu perdi 13 quilos, não é isso? 13 quilos nessa semana, que é muito quilo. 13 quilos vai dar quanto? Numa semana eu perdi. Então, eu sabia que eu ia estar muito maior que ele.
So for this fight, I actually lost in about, and he said in the back, about a month and a half, 19 kilograms. So that's about 42 pounds.
28.
And then just in this past week, 13 kilograms. So just this past week, 28 pounds. So I knew that I was going to be a little bit bigger than him.
And finally, he was ranked 14. So I would imagine when the rankings come out, you're going to have a number next to your name. So what's it going to be like to be a ranked UFC welterweight?
E também, obviamente, ele estava ranqueado no número 14. E agora, quando o ranking sair, você vai ter um número do lado de você. Como é que você se sente ser um cara ranqueado?
Eu estou muito feliz porque faz tempo que eu estou tentando entrar dentro do ranking, faz tempo que eu estou falando em entrar dentro do ranking e nunca me colocaram, mas agora eu vejo que eu vou entrar pela performance que eu e o Santiago fizemos. Então agora eu tenho certeza que eu vou entrar dentro do ranking e eu mereço, né? Eu fiz por onde está ali dentro.
Very happy because I've always wanted to be in the rankings. I've always talked about being in the rankings. And this fight with Santiago, just the fact that we fought and the performance that both of we had, it's deserving. And I do feel that I deserve to be in the rankings. So very happy to actually be there and this accomplishment and having got that done.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Hey, Michel.
Hi, my friend.
I was just wondering if you had any names of who you wanted to fight next.
Ele só estava pensando se você tinha alguns nomes para lutar próximo depois, por favor.
Eu tenho muita vontade de lutar com o Nate Diaz, de poder trocar uns tapas com ele, fazer uma luta divertida. Eu tenho muita vontade de lutar com ele para me dar um show, né, para a galera, fazer uma luta mais divertida. E tenho vontade também de lutar com o Holm Masvidal, porque eu tenho uns probleminha para acertar com ele.
I really want to fight Nate Diaz because I think it would be really fun to slap each other around. I think it would be a really fun fight. I think we're going to put on a show for all the fans. And also Jorge Masvidal because I have a little bit of a problem with him and I want to settle it.
both you and Nate have probably the two best slaps in the UFC. And finally, for me, I know that you love to fight in front of your fans. You love fans. Do you want your next fight to be in front of fans?
Também sabe que comentaram que você e o Nate têm talvez o melhor tapa do UFC, né? Todo mundo aqui sabe que você gosta de lutar para os fãs, você gosta de lutar com fãs. E uma pergunta: você gostaria de que a tua próxima luta fosse na frente da galera, da torcida, uma torcida maior, num lugar maior?
Sim, na verdade eu não gosto de lutar sem público, né? Porque é o que eu sempre falo, eu luto pro público, eu gosto de lutar para dar show pra galera. Você imagina uma luta dessa com o público olhando, os fãs que ia ganhar com a luta dessa. Então, eu não gosto de lutar sem público, mas a energia que hoje foi muito boa, a galera mesmo sendo pouca gente, a galera vibrou, a galera ficou doida lá dentro, então foi muito gostoso. Não gostava de lutar aqui não, mas comecei até a gostar porque a galera tava animada hoje.
I really don't like fighting with not that many people, because I've always said I fight for the fans. I want them to put on a show. Imagine if this fight was in front of fans. Imagine the show the spectacle that we would put out for them. But of course, next time I really would like to fight in front of fans. But the energy here was really good tonight. And I'm starting to like it. I didn't like it, but I started to like it because the energy here, even though it was a limited crowd, it was really good. And I'm starting to like this feeling.
Congratulations.
Parabéns.
Thanks so much.
When you mentioned Jorge Masvidal, you said you want to fight him, but you said you had a problem. What's the problem between you and Masvidal?
Quando você mencionou o Masvidal, você falou que você tem um pouquinho do problema. Explica para eles qual é o problema que você tem.
Ele mandou um emoji, uma mãozinha assim de amém, né? Para minha esposa. E aí eu não sei porque ele mandou para minha esposa, não sei porque ele não mandou para mim, né? E eu queria entender o porquê, né? Eu nunca topei ele para perguntar, né? E aí eu queria entender isso, mas eu queria entender lá dentro do octógono também, né?
So he sent an emoji to my wife, the emoji with the two hands together like this, with a little amen. He sent it to my wife. I didn't send it to me. And, I never actually crossed paths with him, never had the chance to ask him. So I figured, I really want to understand, but might as well understand inside the octagon. So we'll just settle over there.
That makes sense. But it's funny, looking at the two names that you put, these are typical guys that people call out for the big money fights. So which is more important to you right now at this point in your career, the big money fights or fights that are going to propel you towards a title shot?
Você mencionou esses dois nomes, e são nomes que o pessoal chama pra porrada para ganhar uma grana. Aquela luta que é para encher o cacho. O que você acha que é mais importante para você agora? Fazer essa grana, uma luta dessa, que vai realmente arrebentar a boca do balão, ou uma daquelas lutas que de repente dá uma chance de avançar no ranking?
Na verdade, eu prefiro lutar com os caras que eu quero lutar do que o dinheiro, porque eu não luto só pelo dinheiro, eu luto também pelos meus fãs, pelo o público do UFC total. Então, assim, o dinheiro ele é uma consequência do seu trabalho, né? Eu penso muito assim. Então, eu prefiro lutar com eles e fazer uma grande luta, tipo o Nate. Você imagina uma luta que seria eu e o Nate trocando tapa, fazendo uma onda, umas graças, né? Seria uma luta muito divertida. E futuramente eu sei que eu vou ganhar muito dinheiro, então para mim o dinheiro agora é importante, mas também eu prezo muito pela luta, né? De lutar com quem eu quero, porque a gente não sabe até quando a gente vai lutar.
I want to fight the guys. The fight that I'm looking for is guys that I want to fight against. I understand that there's a time place to get the money. I mean, you don't care about, obviously the money's there, and I know we're going to make money off of this, all right? But can you imagine us, like myself and Nate Diaz fighting, like all the stuff for a fight like this with all our shenanigans and everything else? I mean, this money is a consequence of your work, and I've always thought about that. And I just think that I'm gonna make money eventually in my life, and I just think that this is a time to fight people, to put on a show for the fans and for the crowd that's going to be at the stadium.
It certainly would be exciting,
Yes.
Fun fight week to say the least. The commentary team talked about after this victory that they thought that very likely you could see yourself maybe vying for a title shot in 2022. There's not that much time, but how soon do you think you could be vying for a title shot?
Realmente seria uma luta espetacular. O pessoal do comentário na transmissão falou que você poderia estar lutando por esse título em 2022. Ou seja, você se vê lutando em 2022 ou quando exatamente você se vê lutando por um título?
Eu queria muito, né, lutar pelo título em 2022, mas a minha categoria está muito disputada, né? Então eu tenho que lutar com os caras, os tops da minha categoria. Primeiramente eu precisava entrar dentro do ranking para me poder fazer mais barulho, minha palavra ter mais poder, porque antes eu falava, parecia que eu estava falando com ninguém. Então agora que eu vou virar ranqueado, eu vou poder fazer mais bagunça no ranking, né, na minha categoria.
First of all, I just wanted to it's a tough division. It's a tough division out there. So I understand that the first step for me was actually to get into the rankings. I mean, I was just talking to nobody. And now my word has a little bit of more power. Now I can make a mess in the division. So the main thing is actually to get in there. And I do feel that this was the first step, and the next one up is just actually fighting other people in the rankings.
And you talked about this fight earlier, that you thought that you did more of the damage. Do you think it was the significant strikes, the heavier damage that you did, that really won and sealed the event for you? And also, how talk to the toughness of Santiago out there, able to take the damage but still pushed very hard all the way through the match?
Você mencionou que você estava confiante pelo fato de que o estrago que você fez foi maior do que o Santiago. Realmente você acha que você ganhou por conta do dano que você fez até ele? Você poderia falar um pouco para a gente de quão casca grossa é Santiago Ponzinibbio?
Eu vi que eu tinha deixado muitos danos nele, né? Tipo, eu dei mais knockdown nele, eu coloquei muita pressão nele, mesmo ele sendo um cara muito bom, mesmo eu pegando golpes duros, eu caminhava para frente, eu ia para cima, eu não mostrava que tinha pegado o golpe. Teve alguns que eu mostrei, mas eu mostrava que eu queria vencer a luta, e eu acho que isso foi o que me deu a vitória, a minha vontade de mostrar que eu quero essa luta, que eu preciso vencer essa luta.
So, answering the first part of your question, I do feel that I did more in a sense that not only I looked more for the win, I looked to knock him down more often, but also I took some punches and I took some kicks. And the one thing that was happy about is that when I took them, I kept pressing forward. There was some stuff there that I didn't want to show that I had been hit. And I just pretty much continued to do it. And I know he's a tough guy, but the one thing is I showed that my resilience is that I just kept going, pressing forward and being the one that wanted to win. I wanted to win more.
And lastly, do you feel that this was maybe the biggest win of your career and maybe the toughest fight of your career to date?
Você acha que essa foi a maior vitória da tua carreira e talvez a luta mais dura que você teve?
Foi a vitória maior da minha carreira, e sim, a luta também mais importante da minha carreira, porque ganhei de um top 14, e a gente está falando do Santiago Ponzinibbio, né? Um cara que eu cresci vendo lutar, sou fã do cara, é um cara que eu tenho um carinho imenso, sempre vi ele lutar e sempre admirei ele lutando, e hoje ganhar dele foi uma conquista muito grande para minha carreira, e estou muito feliz por causa disso.
Yes, it was the most important fight of my career. It was I fought against the top 14, so I obviously it was the most important. But also against Santiago Ponzinibbio, a guy that I grew up watching, a guy that I admire, I love, I do respect him. But obviously, it was the most important and a very tough fight, as you saw, as Santiago is.
Obrigado. Parabéns.
De nada. Thanks so much, my friend.
Don't know if you're aware, but you got the fight of the night bonus, so congratulations.
Obviamente você sabe, você ganhou o bônus de luta da noite.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you.
You found out.
One follow-up, Michelle. The fans think that a fight with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson would be fantastic. Are you open to that matchup?
Os fãs falaram que uma luta com Stephen Wonderboy Thompson seria legal. Tá aberto para uma luta com o Wonderboy?
Sim, eu sou funcionário do UFC, eu estou pronto para lutar com qualquer um, né, que colocar para me lutar. Vou estar pronto para lutar com qualquer um. E lutaria sim, lutaria com qualquer um da categoria. Eu não tenho medo de ninguém, de nenhum da categoria. Lutaria até com o Shimaev, que muitos falavam que tinham medo dele, e eu sempre falei, eu não tenho medo desse cara. Então, qualquer um que botar para mim lutar na categoria, eu quero trabalhar na empresa, fazer o que tem que ser feito, que é lutar, e eu estou aqui para o que o meu patrão de não há de fechar, eu tô dentro.
Of course, I would be open to a fight like that. I'm an employee of the UFC, so I'm gonna fight anyone they put in front of me, and I think I would fight them. Yeah, with no problem. I don't fear anybody in the division. I'll fight everyone, including Chimaev, because a lot of people said, "Oh, they fear him." I don't. You know, I'll fight with anybody. I want to keep working for the organization. I'll do everything that my boss Dana White tells me to.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, that was our co-main event winner, Michel Pereira, who also got 50K bonus. So congratulations to him, Mr. Ponzinibbio. And now we're waiting for the main event winner. Maybe Holly Holm. Maybe Dana White. Who knows? No one knows these things. It's impossible to know. While we wait, let's play some flute. So let me check on that poll we have. Let me go ahead and end that poll. Ooh, so in our YouTube comments poll, we had almost 1,000 votes, and with 81% of you thinking Holly Holm won that fight, and 18% of you had Miss Ketlen Vieira winning that fight. So 81%. Is that a robbery? It's a robbery in my book. 81%. But without a doubt, it was a close fight. But that's how it goes. This song, was it slaps, as they say? Yeah, definitely slaps. Ed Rogers, highway robbery. You guys want a Eric Anders poll? Was Eric Anders robbed tonight? Oh, here we go.
Tico de lado, é melhor. Tudo tranquilo? Tá ótimo.
Well, Ketlen, congratulations on the victory. What are your initial thoughts after a very tough win over a former champion in Holly Holm?
Primeiramente, parabéns pela vitória, Ketlen. Qual pensamentos iniciais para uma vitória dura, uma luta dura contra uma ex-campeã, Holly Holm?
Então, estou muito feliz, grato a Deus, né? Resultado de muito trabalho, muita dedicação da minha equipe comigo, que vem se dedicando a cada dia para que eu venha entrar no octógono melhor, e muito feliz, muito grato.
Very happy, obviously, very thankful to God for this win. I knew that this means that my team worked and my team and my camp worked to make this happen. So very happy and very grateful.
I would assume Holly, given that she was a former champion and has been in that top 5 for so long, was an opponent that you had watched a lot in the past or studied knowing you would eventually fight. So now that you have fought her, was that the type of fight that you expected when you would enter the octagon with her?
Por conta da Holly ter ficado tanto tempo nesse ranking top 10, é uma pessoa que imagino que você já viu muitas vezes e sempre esperou o momento de lutar, mas já acompanhou muito na carreira dela. Agora que você lutou contra ela é aquilo que você esperava? Assim, o que você encontrou hoje era esperado, o tipo de luta que ela trouxe para você?
Com certeza, né? Quando eu sonhava em entrar no UFC, lá em Manaus, no Amazonas, eu já assistia a Holly, né? No dia que ela chocou o mundo a ganhar da Honda. Então eu tinha um sonho de lutar com ela, assim como eu tinha um grande de lutar com grandes lutadoras, como Sarah McMahon, Kat Zingano, Misha e agora ela. Então, com certeza, ela era tudo que eu esperava, né? Uma atleta completa e eu tô muito. Isso que me deixa mais feliz ainda, uma vitória contra uma atleta tão dura quanto a Holly.
As I was growing up and watching MMA in Manaus, Amazonas, I still remember, and I admire her. And when I had the dreams of coming to the UFC, I watched her shock the world and beat Ronda Rousey. And just like other fighters just mentioned, Miesha Tate and others, I've always wanted to fight them and want to be a part of this. So obviously, ever since I started, I've always wanted to fight her.
That standing arm triangle looked pretty tight. Her head was going red. Were you surprised she popped out of there?
A hora que você estava de pé, estrangulando ela, pareceu bem apertado. Você se surpreendeu que ela conseguiu sair dali?
Então, eu achei que ela deu uma leve batida. Eu até comentei com a minha equipe e eu senti que o árbitro estava se aproximando. Nisso, eu olhei para o árbitro para ver se ele ia parar e ela aproveitou esse momento e ali com aquela experiência dela, a malandragem acabou saindo. Mas a vitória é nossa, né? Os planos de Deus jamais podem ser frustrados.
So yeah, I felt pretty good about that, and I thought that she actually was doing a little light tap, and I saw the ref coming close, and when I looked over to see him coming close, I think she took the opportunity because I looked away from what was going on, and she escaped me. But God's plans, they can't be denied.
And I think it was the final round. You hit her with a spinning back elbow that connected flush, like full force. Have you ever hit someone that hard and have them just walk through it like that?
No final, no último round, você deu uma girada e uma cotovelada nela, que pegou. Você já bateu tão forte desse jeito em alguém?
Então, isso aí é uma técnica que agora o mestre Dedé, né, mandou eu fazer, pediu para eu fazer, e eu estou fazendo agora. E eu acredito que não pegou em cheio, né, pegou de raspão. Se tivesse pegado em cheio, acho que poderia ter acontecido nocaute, mas é um trabalho que a minha equipe está fazendo comigo, e cada vez que eu entrar naquele octógono eu vou estar mais completa.
This is actually something the master Dede Pedernera has told me to do. This is something that we've worked on. I do not think it was a full-on hit. I think it kind of rubbed her, let's just scrap a little bit. It wasn't full, because if it was, it would have been a knockdown. But it's something that we worked on a lot, and we're going to keep on doing these things.
And finally, they showed your corner cam going into the final round. Your coach was obviously very fired up. It even sounded like he said you might be down 3-1. You might need the finish. So when you did finally reach the judges' scorecards, how confident were you that you had done enough to get the decision?
E para finalizar, no intervalo para o último round, a gente viu o Pederneiras extremamente animado ali, falando até que você estava perdendo 3-1. Isso te impulsionou? E quão confiante você estava quando você entrou no último round que você ia ganhar essa luta?
Então, o mestre Dedé, ele procura colocar a gente no pior cenário que possa acontecer na luta, né? Isso acontece também nos treinamentos. Ele costuma falar: "Bora, você tá perdendo, o árbitro tá dando para ela". Então, isso é um meio dele impulsionar a gente a dar o nosso melhor. Então, foi isso que ele fez comigo hoje. Ele sabia que podia estar bem parelho ali, pelo fato dela ter me amarrado muito ali. Eu queria buscar a luta, eu queria buscar nocautear ou finalizar, e ela queria apenas ficar me prendendo ali na grade. Então, ele usou isso para me motivar e ir para cima.
Actually, Dede always works with the worst case scenario. Not just on the fights, but also on the gym. He always says, like, you're losing. Listen, she's got it. She's got this. You're trailing it. And yes, it's something that he uses to propel us to actually win, and to find more to actually go for a fight, to look for a fight, to look for a win. So it's something that works, and he knows he needs to actually use that kind of approach.
Ketlen?
Hi.
Yeah, so your coach was screaming at you. Was that exactly what you needed to get you back in the fight?
Dedé estava gritando com você ali. É o que você precisava para voltar para a luta?
Com certeza. Eu acho que ele já sabe como lidar comigo, né? Acho que cada atleta tem um jeito, né, que você trata. Então, ele sabe ali que ele tem que gritar comigo ali para poder tirar meu melhor.
Surely, I mean, he knows me. He knows every athlete has a different way of responding, and he knows that with me, you gotta yell, and you're gonna get the best of me.
And finally, for me, with the rematch between Amanda and Juliana just announced, would you be open to rematching Irene Aldana down the line, or I guess next?
Última pergunta dele, com a outra luta, mais uma luta entre Amanda Nunes e Juliana Penha, você pensa que talvez, já que elas estão lutando, você lutaria de novo com a Irene Aldana?
Acho que não é necessário, né? Eu acabei de ganhar de quem ganhou dela, né? E enquanto eu espero pela disputa, eu vou estar na minha academia treinando com a minha equipe, né? Tá evoluindo. E eu espero o tempo que for. Eu sou a próxima, eu já esperei muito. Eu já tive número 2 várias das vezes. Então, assim, agora é o meu momento, eu vou esperar, vou voltar para a academia e vou evoluir. E na minha hora eu vou estar pronta.
No, I don't think it's necessary because I just beat someone that just beat her. So I feel that I rather take my time, go back to the gym, and keep evolving, keep getting better because I've waited a lot. I've been, close to number 2 all this time. So I just feel that I will take whatever time is necessary and just wait for the winner there.
Congratulations.
Parabéns de novo.
Who do you think wins between Amanda and Juliana in Dallas?
Agora, seu palpite entre Amanda e Juliana lá em Dallas.
Cara, pela história da Amanda, por tudo que ela fez, né, no MMA feminino, tanto no peso galo como no peso pena, muito se diz que ela vai se aposentar, a mídia especula muito, e se ela for realmente se aposentar, eu gostaria que ela ganhasse, né, e se aposentasse como campeã. Eu acho que por tudo que ela fez, ela merece, mas, cara, o cinturão é meu sonho, independente de quem seja adversário. Claro que eu não gostaria de estar enfrentando uma compatriota, né, mas é meu sonho que está em jogo e quem for, eu vou estar pronto.
For all her storied history and for everything she's done for female MMA and not only a bantamweight but lightweight as well, I think that even if this thing about her retiring after this, I would obviously like her to win. But as far as I cannot choose opponents, and it's my dream that's at stake here. So all I know is that I'm going to fight for the title, whoever wins. And I'm sorry. And I also would not. I always say that I would not like to fight a compatriot, just because
A lot of times you never know what's going to happen in these title fights. If injuries can also happen, the champ could win and have an injury and be out for a little bit. Are you willing to sit out, knowing that you are the clear contender for the next shot, or at some point would you rather fight just so you could stay active?
A gente nunca sabe o que pode acontecer numa dessas lutas para cinturão. Uma lesão pode acontecer. Digamos que uma delas vença e se lesione. Você ficaria parada esse tempo todo esperando, sabendo que você é a próxima da lista, ou você gostaria de pelo menos se manter ativa?
Então, eu sou igual bicicleta, né? Parada eu não fico, senão eu caio. Eu estou sempre treinando na minha academia, né? Minha profissão é lutar, e quando a oportunidade bate na porta, você tem que estar pronto. Independente se eu vou lutar ou estou com luta marcada, eu vou estar na academia treinando, esperando minha oportunidade.
I'm like a bicycle. If I sit still, I'm just going to fall. And I know that this is my profession. This is what I chose to do. And I never stop. I'm always training. I'm always evolving. I'm always working. I'm always active. So I know whatever happens, I'm always going to be ready because when the opportunity comes knocking at your door, you got to be ready. So to me, it doesn't matter.
I know you gave your opponent Holm a lot of praise for her striking going in there. Now that you actually sat across from it, how did that look and how did it feel going against that? And it seemed like your counter strikes were super impressive tonight. In fact, the commentary was talking a little bit about how your striking looked a lot more effective and Holly only had the side kick to maybe go to. How did her striking finally play out for you, and what did you think that your overall striking did to her?
Sabendo que a Holly Holm tem a história que ela tem, que ela é extremamente boa na trocação, o que agora que você lutou com ela, o que você acha desse estilo de luta dela? Você realmente viu isso? Inclusive o comentário na transmissão foi que a tua trocação, os teus golpes estavam muito mais eficazes. E ela acabou tendo só chute por fora, coisas assim, para tentar compensar isso. Como é que você se sente agora que você viu ela e como é que você está em relação ao teu estilo de luta, assim, porque realmente foi muito bom.
Então, hoje eu consegui ser melhor que ela, né, no MMA, mas eu respeito a história dela. Eu nunca colocaria uma luva para trocar boxe com ela, que eu respeito. Ela já foi campeã, se eu não me engano, 9 ou 11 vezes. É hall da fama do boxe. Então, assim, eu respeito a história dela, né? Então, eu fico muito feliz com a minha performance. Isso é fruto do trabalho dos meus professores, né? Do meu professor de boxe, Giovanni Diniz, que tem me acompanhado desde o início da minha carreira. Então, assim, eu tenho uma equipe, né, grande por trás e eu fico muito feliz em poder estar evoluindo e poder estar mostrando o trabalho que eles estão fazendo comigo. Então, assim, eu respeito a história dela, jamais trocaria só boxe com ela. Eu consegui ser melhor porque é MMA. Tinha várias coisas para ela se preocupar. Ela estava preocupada em ser agarrada ou em chutar. Então, nesse mix, eu consegui ser melhor que ela.
I respect her history a lot, and the main thing is I would never put on boxing gloves to box for her. I mean, she's been a champion, I think 9-11 times. She's in Boxing Hall of Fame, so I would never do something like that. But this just goes to show that the work that Giovanni Diniz, my coach in boxing, has done to make me a better fighter and a more improved fighter, and also because it's MMA, so she actually had to get to worry about, some grappling, maybe some kicking. She had to worry about a lot of other things. And in MMA, I was able to beat her, but I would never put on boxing gloves to fight her because I do respect her history a lot.
Looking at one of the last things it seems that judges score is the control that one fighter has over another. While Holly did have a lot of control time, a lot of it was up against the cage. Do you feel that she wasn't using that as effective as she should have to score, and that's why possibly the judges' nod went to you?
Os juízes olham, um dos aspectos, né, que os juízes olham é o controle, tempo de controle, o controle de uma maneira geral que uma lutadora tem contra a outra. Você acha que, porque ela te deixou bastante tempo ali contra a grade, você acha que ela não aproveitou a oportunidade, porque ela teve tanto controle e não foi eficaz, e foi por conta disso que no final das contas você venceu?
Eu acredito que sim. Na verdade, ela estava fazendo um antijogo. Ela estava ali na grade me pressionando, né? Porque eu estava sendo mais efetiva que ela em pé, na luta em pé. Eu estava buscando a luta, buscando sair com a vitória. Então, ela estava mais que fazendo um antijogo e os juízes perceberam isso.
Yes, I do think so. I think she was doing more of an anti-game. We use that term for soccer. So he basically anti-game. So that's what she was doing. She was basically trying to neutralize me. She was just pressing me against the cage, but nothing was happening. She just wanted me to stop fighting. And I think that the judges actually saw that.
Well, congrats on the victory.
Thanks, you. Finish. Thank you.
Okay, that was your main event winner tonight, Ketlen Vieira, who won a split decision over Holly Holm. I believe that's it. No Dana White. Let me check. Oh, they turned the lights off, so that means well, thank you for tuning in to the UFC Vegas 55 post-fight press conference. Stay tuned to this channel. We will be having our post-show in just a few moments. No Holly Holm, it looks like. No Dana White. That's good. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to hit the close broadcast button before I get confirmation we have no Holly Holm. I guess that is it. Alright, well, stay tuned, and we'll have our post-fight show in just a few moments with our host, Mike Heck, and all those other guys who like to talk, and not me talking, so it should sound a lot better. Thanks for watching. Happy birthday, AK.